to Geneva and bring in Alexandre Vautravers. He is a security expert and editor of the in-chief of the Swiss Military Revue. Well, let's start, Alexandre, on these official comments to say, we've known about skirmishes in the past with different countries, but now saying officially there's a war on several different fronts. Let me ask you first what you make of those comments.
There's definitely two different layers of interpretation. There's a political layer of interpretation, and here you want to say that definitely there is solidarity, there is objective common interest between a certain number of parties, a certain number of countries, and this feeds very well into the Israeli traditional rhetoric of not only a two-front war, but essentially everybody is against us. And then you can look at it from a military operational point of view. There are missiles and drones and activities coming from all fronts, and Israel probably does not have enough air defenses and defenses in general to be placed against the north to protect against Lebanese incursions, against the south to address the Gaza situation, somewhere else in order to address drones and missiles fired from Yemen, and so on and so forth.
Really interesting. Analysts picking up already in the last half an hour since these comments that Iranian state media that talk about, well, they claim that an airstrike carried out by Israel in Damascus in Syria had killed one of its senior commanders, Saeed Razi Mousavi. Israel, potentially within those comments, analysts suggesting there was a tacit admission that actually Israel did carry out that airstrike. What do you make of that?
Can't really comment on that, but once again, if you look at it from an operational and military point of view, the Israeli Air Force capabilities have been essentially taking on the brunt of the fighting of the military operations in the first few weeks of the war in Gaza. And now that land forces have gone in, essentially there is quite a bit of aerial potential that is available for other types of missions. And definitely these incursions and these targeted interdiction missions are something that the Israeli Air Force is definitely capable of.
Now, we were talking about the intensity of the airstrikes overnight, more than 100 according to the IDF on different parts of Gaza, including not just the refugee camps in the centre in the north, Jabalia, but also Khan Yunis, and in one of the supposed evacuation safe zones around Rafah in the south as well. Are you, in terms of following the military patterns, the drumbeat of it by the day for the last 11 weeks or so, are you getting a sense of, what Israel talks about potentially seeing a third stage of its operations, called the third phase, or you still think this is an all-out targeting? Where do you see this going at the moment?
It's not really an all-out targeting, but definitely there is an effort made on the behalf of the Israeli operational and military commanders to keep the pressure up, whatever is happening on the ground, even when there is a slower pace of land operations taking place, or when forces need to be moved to other areas. So definitely there's a bit of that. On the other hand, definitely we are seeing more advance, and I would say if we compare the results of the Israeli forces on the ground with some of the expert predictions, we are seeing that the Israelis have moved very swiftly, and they have moved much more quickly than anticipated, and they are definitely now moving or shifting away from an emphasis in Gaza towards the south of the Gaza Strip.
Now, with the Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu saying that the war will continue until Hamas is destroyed, are you also managing to get any sense of analysis of the ability of Hamas in its responses? We're seeing some rocket attacks towards Tel Aviv that have been protected by the Iron Dome system. But what sense do you get of its ability to continue fighting?
If we look at the long game of this military operation, and I have been saying this consistently, there's three military and political options. These three military and political options have not changed, regardless of the success or the pace of operations taking place now in Gaza. And definitely we are still going to be confronted with a substantial, very important, significant political decision what to do with the Gaza Strip in the future.